It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe. Thank you for joining us on today's edition of the program. Of course, we always encourage you to follow along on our website and across our social media, all of which can be found on civiccentertv.com. On your screen, a QR code will take you to all the links you need to follow us on social media and, of course, find our website. Scan that as we speak, and it'll take you to all the places you can find the latest programming from our team here at Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Let's get into our top stories making headlines across the greater West Bloomfield area today. If your kids maybe got a little bit of a later start today, maybe you did as well. It was a late start, of course, for our kids across the West Bloomfield School District today that affected your morning. It will not, however, affect your afternoon. School started 1 hour later today. Maybe perhaps that's why you saw a little bit of additional traffic across some of our major thoroughfares across the four communities this morning. However, as I said, this afternoon, pickup from our elementary, middle, and high school across the West Bloomfield School District will be right on schedule as normal, so no changes to your afternoon expected today. Now, other updates coming up, a similar late start going to happen a couple of weeks from now. Wednesday, October 30th will be the next late start, so go ahead and mark that on your calendars as a day where school will start 1 hour later and end at the same time. And then other upcoming days you should keep on your calendar. No school on Election Day on November 5th on that Tuesday, or on the Wednesday following on November 13th. That will be a late start again for all of this. All this is also on the West Bloomfield School District's calendar, so whether you're looking to make sure that maybe, hey, look, if I'm going toward West Bloomfield High School and they're starting an hour later on that Wednesday, or on October 30th, or on Wednesday, November 13th, maybe I want to avoid that on my morning commute. You can check those dates out and find out all the other things happening across the West Bloomfield School District on their website, wbsd.org/calendar, the place to go for all of that. Speaking of delays, you may have a little bit more of a delay at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library's main branch over the next couple of weeks, especially if you're used to going through some of the convenience of their drive-through window over there. The drive-up circle is closed at the moment for some construction on their roof at the main library. However, a lot of those services are continuing to happen inside of that main building, and of course this doesn't affect anything over at the West Acres branch of the library. If you do need to use some of their drive-up circle services, there are designated parking spots, as you can see on your screen on civiccentertv.com, marked with cones and some signage that you'll be able to use on the east side of the front parking lot. And then for those services to be brought to you outside like you would normally have at that drive-up window, you call the number 248-232-2201 to let them know that you've arrived to pick up a book or drop off some books or do other business that you would normally do at that drive-up window. Again, that phone number, 248-232-2201. Staff will ask for your library card number in order to verify, and that goes for the drive-up window. Anything you do at the return bins, the Friends donation bin, they're all closed through early November while crews work on replacing part of the library's roof on that end of the building. More information and updates on this project, including, hey, maybe it will end a little bit earlier, maybe it's going to take a little bit longer. We know that happens nowadays pretty often with construction. Those updates on Facebook at West Bloom LIB and on their website at wblib.org. If you're looking for some musical opportunities in our community, want to enjoy some music, maybe from the younger kids, hey, a great way to do that is to listen to our West Bloomfield High School choir and our band and all of those different organizations. The choir already getting their flowers early on in the 2024-25 school year. Their concert, a rousing success for the fall edition, happening earlier on this month. A stunning evening with beautiful harmonies and incredible talent from our students at West Bloomfield High School. The attendees and the students enjoyed the engagement, which was under the direction of Dan Dade. Even more photos from this exciting evening on the big stage over at West Bloomfield High School can be found as we speak on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield School District on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools. Now, Halloween is coming up, and while we get ready for our fun and exciting costumes and Halloween activities, Rough Life Photography wants you to get your pets ready as well and enter a special competition as well. Rough Life Photography is inviting pet owners to stop by with their favorite furry friends for some Halloween-themed pet photos at our local Premier Pet Supply location on Orchard Lake Road. Show off your scariest costumes and capture some adorable memories as well. October 20th is when all of this is going to happen from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. Photos do come with a charge, $10, with all proceeds going to a good cause supporting local rescue groups that partner with Premier Pet Supply in our community and their other local community business locations as well. All money during this event going to be donated to local rescue organizations helping out all throughout the state of Michigan. So again, Premier Pet Supply on Orchard Lake Road, October 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. In the meantime, stop by Premier Pet Supply for more information and to find out more about all the other activities that are going on throughout our community. At West Bloomfield Parks, their community hayrides continue on Thursday this week, October 17th. 20-minute sessions on a tractor-drawn hayride with plenty of activities out at Marshbank Park. Now, this is the final of the 2 dates they've had for these community hayrides. These have filled up really quickly. Some of them have even, their sessions have even been sold out. So if you're looking for a last opportunity, maybe something opens up. Maybe you can get in on one of these hayrides at wbparks.org under their register link. That's where I'd encourage you to go for this if you want to sign up, even though it's happening just 24 hours from now, a little over 24 hours out at Marshbank Park. But plenty of opportunity to still get involved and a lot more fall activities from West Bloomfield Parks available on their website on wbparks.org. And of course, you can follow along with them on Facebook at West Bloomfield at WB Parks. Local business wants your help to help them stomp out bullying in our community. Buddies Against Bullying is partnering with True Martial Arts out of the Orchard Mall on a new project. The event will teach attendees on what bullying is, why people may end up engaging in bullying, and what can be done to help someone or help yourself if you're experiencing some bullying, especially those kids in our local schools. This is an event that's going to be happening on November 2nd from 1:30 until 3 p.m. at their location. Again, that's inside of the Orchard Mall on the corner of Orchard Lake and Maple Road in West Bloomfield. Their very own enclosed mall for our community will be the location for this event. November 2nd, 1:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. You can learn even more on their website. BloomfieldMartialArts.com is the place to go for even more information on that. And you can find more information on other things that they're doing coming up in our local community as well. As you're supporting our local businesses, you can do that while also supporting some of our local organizations this week. Earlier on this week, we told you, and we'll remind you again today, that Schuler Books, all throughout this week, leading up to October 19th, a portion of your proceeds from your book purchases or other at their location or online could go towards supporting the Friends of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Here's all you got to do. Mention the Friends of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library at their checkout desk, and by doing that, 20% of the proceeds from your purchase will be donated to the Friends of the Library to support their library activities, such as Music at Maine, the Friend Shop, that's ran by dedicated volunteers that are your neighbors and others who just love our local library, and of course, their continued support of our library workers and all that they do each and every day to keep our community informed, to give them access to technology and information right at our 2 library locations at the Town Hall branch and also at their West Acres branch as well. Now through Saturday is when this is going on, so time's starting to run a little bit short to get those proceeds from your purchases to go toward our library. But fear not, if you're during your busy schedule, you're not able to stop in at their location on Orchard Lake Road. You can also do this online by using the promo code in all caps WB Library at checkout when you shop with Schuler Books on their website at schulerbooks.com. Use WB Library as a promo code at checkout, and 20% of those proceeds will then be forwarded to the Friends of the West Bloomfield Library. In the meantime, you can learn more about this ongoing drive and more about what's happening at the West Bloomfield location of Schuler Books, a fan favorite bookstore in our community since they moved in recent years. Facebook.com/Schuler Books or on SchulerBooks.com. It's a special anniversary all throughout 2024. The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society celebrating 50 years of service to all four of our communities, preserving our local history, not only in West Bloomfield, but the very storied and intricate history of each and every one of our Tri-Cities as well. They will continue their 50th anniversary celebration with a special presentation in mid-November on November 13th at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Here to tell us more about the special presentation and the continued special celebration is the director of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, their president, Gina Gregory, with us on the program today. Gina, thank you for being with us.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you on as well as we continue to celebrate this special 50th anniversary. At the beginning of the 2024 calendar year, we joined you out at Orchard Lake Schools for your dedication of these 50 years. But now, as we get toward the end of this 50th year of your service and approach year number 51, another special presentation that kind of goes over your own history. Give us the inside look at what's going to happen on November 13th at the library.
Sure. Well, we've been busy all year with many different projects, and we wanted to include a look that we developed with our newsletter. We do 3 a year, and so we've had an insert in it with our timeline. We did that with our 40th anniversary, 2014. So now we have an updated version of in 2024, looking back what we've done as an organization. So besides having that as a newsletter, I thought it would be fun to make it into a presentation so folks can come to the library and see what we're up to. So we'll walk through that with a PowerPoint and images that are included in the timeline, as well as a few others if time allows, so that they can see how things have changed and all that we've been involved with over 50 years.
Now, I've only been really around with the last 7.5 years of this as I've been with Civic Center TV, but it's been a learning experience for me as someone that grew up in West Bloomfield and really only recognized the Historical Society from your museum on the corner of Orchard Lake and Long Lake Road in West Bloomfield, but there's so much more that you do. And now, how will that be incorporated into this presentation? Really a special look for the community into the work that you do across all four of the Greater West Bloomfield cities and township.
Well, the problem is, Tyler, there's so much to talk about that we can't fit it into a 45-minute presentation. I can only begin to say that we have many videos that we've created with Civic Center TV, and that you've supported us with original historic presentations, which has been fabulous because they live on through the wonders of the internet and YouTube. So we have our own YouTube page, as well as your page has many more presentations that we've done and interviews and a variety of things. So yes, we have a robust history that we improved during COVID. It seemed like a great opportunity to share history and then interview people that we knew who had topics of interest that relate to our museum and the story that we tell. So we were very busy then. And that's certainly a good asset that we have for the community that's available for free 24/7. We also have our newsletter. It's available to members, and then throughout the community we list in different places. We have a small exhibit at West Bloomfield Township Library that's available, and then we participate in community events like the upcoming Heroes Appreciation, and then the Michigan Week Breakfast and the Memorial Day Parade. So there's been a lot of projects. My presentation really focuses on the projects that we've done. We now have 50 historical markers in schools and outside in our community, which is an incredible number. We've just had those opportunities, and volunteers have taken that upon themselves to put it together and share our history. So we're very fortunate that we have volunteers who are willing to do that and create really good quality products, whether they're a presentation or a museum. We redid that in 2020 and 21, just happened to coincide the beginning with COVID, literally. But we were able to take advantage of that and take our time to have a meaningful flow change and reimagining our exhibits. So we did that, and then our volunteers put together information to explain what folks look at, and it's always a continuing process. There's always more than we can do than we have time for. So we encourage folks to volunteer with us. We're all getting older. We're looking for new volunteers, and in December we'll have a library an opportunity at the library to meet with us and see what we're all about and see how people can become a part of this. It's really a great way to be involved in something meaningful in your community. So we encourage folks to do that because without volunteers, this group can't survive.
Yeah, they play a huge role in doing what you do each and every day and every month with your multiple open houses that tell so many different stories about different artifacts in our community and their importance to all different corners of Greater West Bloomfield, but also what you've been able to incorporate beyond the museum and beyond these special events out in the community. How has technology helped you to expand, especially in recent years? You mentioned with COVID-19 playing a factor, with the museum being closed for a while, being under renovation for a while, but technology has really become a bigger part of what the Historical Society has been doing to not just preserve our local history, but spread the stories of these past 50 years and hundreds of years before that in our community as well.
So we've all been fortunate that our prior president, Buzz Brown, was a very tech-oriented guy. He had a smartphone when nobody knew what they were, hardly. And so with that, he also knew the value of having a robust website. So he set that up, scanned many items that we're still working to improve. We put up many photos, and the research that we do, a lot of that is online as well. So we're increasing the archives that we have available, and we're one of the very few organizations, there's about a half a dozen, who use a program to categorize our archives online and make that free to the public. So we're very excited by that. It's a good research tool, and we're proud that we've been able to spend some time on that with some grants lately to get that more organized. And like I said, it's a continuing process. So we'll be looking for volunteers who like to do that. And then volunteers for open houses as well. There's always so much to do. So technology has really helped us out. And then doing the interviews as well. That's a whole nother area we could improve upon, because Civic Center TV recorded interviews in the 70s and 80s. Those all need to be digitized so that they're useful and we can put them online to share as a archive resource to add to our collection. So yeah, we like to embrace technology as we can to help share our story. And at the same time, we like to hold on to the hard artifacts and the memorabilia so that we have it and you can put it in your hand and take a look at it.
More information on the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society can be found on their website on gwbhs.org. You can also join them for their special presentation as they continue their celebration of 50 years of service to the Greater West Bloomfield area at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, November 13th. That celebration will be happening at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Again, gwbhs.org for more information on that. Gina, before we let you go, what are some of the goals that are already being set by the Historical Society and put in motion in 2024 for the next 50 years ahead of preserving our local history?
Well, we have events set up for 2025, and one of them is very exciting. Well, they all are. In January, we're going to have a retrospective about World War II during our annual meeting. More details will be coming up in our newsletter that will be out by January 1 at the end of the month. That will be. Then in March, we're going to have posters made by large ones made by a group from Birmingham, Southfield, and Oakland County, recounting our area's early Black history. So that's a new research that was done and put together for the first time a couple of years ago. We knew about that. We're active in the community, and so we'll have that to share as well as a presentation. And then we're also involved in a project looking at our Black history now. And we have a researcher, Neil Hepburn, who works on that. So we're excited to participate in that event as potential as well. But where this group goes in the future will be decided by the people who participate. I'm looking to step back more. I'm still going to be leading the group, but not taking on any new projects. So if people want to do a project, they need to step up. Like I said, this is really a volunteer driven organization. So I hope we're alive and well in 50 years and doing more with what we have. It's a great community resource that is available to everybody and a great way to bring people together in all 4 communities.
Well, Gina, we appreciate your help in preserving our local history and your continued efforts with the entirety of your volunteer team over at the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. And we encourage people to join you out at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library Wednesday, November 13th at 7 p.m. for your special 50th anniversary presentation and informational night at the library. Thank you so much for your time today, Gina.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
gwbhs.org is the website to find more information on the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, and of course to mark your calendars for that special night on the Wednesday following the election in November. Nice way to kind of cleanse your palate after all the chaos that will come along and the frustration that will come along with those final weeks leading up to and through Election Day, and take a look back at maybe a simpler time or simpler times across our community, and maybe a little bit of excitement looking forward to the future of Greater West Bloomfield and all 4 of our communities with our friends at the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Also, a moment of excitement each and every Friday night. West Bloomfield Lakers football takes the field all across our 4 communities and beyond, and are the apple of our eye all throughout the football season as they continue their push toward another playoff appearance and maybe perhaps a Division I state championship in 2024. But to get to that point, they have to get through Birmingham Seaholm this week Friday and finish out their season strong to get into the D1 playoffs and live to fight another day. This week's game against Seaholm, a special broadcast from our friends over at The Prep, who will be leading the charge on that broadcast with their own live stream on YouTube and across social media on Friday night. And your friendly person on the mic calling that game will be Evan Stockton, who joins us now on the Splash Live. Evan, thank you for being with us as you got a very exciting broadcast coming up on Friday night, another great night of high school football in Michigan.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Did you just compare me to Spider-Man, by the way? Were you trying to say your friendly neighborhood broadcaster, kind of like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? I'll take that early on a Wednesday. That was very nice of you. Thank you.
Absolutely. You are truly going to be doing an heroic effort with this OAA red versus blue matchup, much like Spider-Man's uniform on Friday night between West Bloomfield of the OAA red and Birmingham Seaholm of the OAA blue. That's what really does make this an interesting matchup, because it's kind of been flipped on its head. Coming into the season, everyone's looking at the Lakers as being the toast of the OAA Red Division, a likely state championship contender, and Seaholm respected for their past year's performances, but maybe not expected to have quite the boom that they've had in 2024. That's going to make for a really interesting matchup because Seaholm's coming in 6-1. They're surging. West Bloomfield kind of struggling to find their identity over the last several weeks.
Yeah, man, this is a fascinating game. So, spoiler alert, everyone thinks the broadcasters care who wins or loses. We have absolutely, we don't care who wins or loses. All we're rooting for is a good matchup. And Friday's game is fascinating. Yes, on one side, you've got West Bloomfield, which you know as well as I do. Their program's been amazing the last handful of years. You flip on a college game and you're seeing a West Bloomfield Laker somewhere, whether it be the Kansas Jayhawks or the Michigan State Spartans or the Michigan Wolverines. And they've got a lot of talent this year. But by their own admission, and we talked to their coaching staff last night preparing for our broadcast, they're not quite there yet. They're confident they can get going. There's still time to get this thing going. But let's be honest, you don't have a ton of time left, right? You got 2 weeks in the regular season. You got to get a win or two here to make sure you make the playoffs. And then that playoff road is always a meat grinder. I was looking at the projections yesterday, and they potentially have to play the Clarkstons, the Catholic Centrals of the world in the first couple of rounds. And those are two of the best teams, regardless of division, in the state of Michigan this year. And yeah, you said it, Birmingham Seaholm, this Division II program, which won 17 combined games the last couple of years, won a playoff game last year, a program on the rise. They lost nearly 24 starters from last year, but they actually may be better this year because they're a program that's been well built by their head coach, Jim DeWald. It's a program that is very committed to the style of offense they run. The veer, which was in vogue 20, 30 years ago, it's not really in vogue anymore, but these guys have really committed to running it. And I'm fascinated to see how the game plays out because on one side, you've got Seaholm, which is 6-1. They've lost one game all year, and they lost by a point last week at North Farmington when they tried to go for two at the end of the game and missed it to win the game. And on the other side, West Bloomfield, a team that doesn't feel like it's quite gotten going yet this year. But if they ever do look out, they've got about as much talent as any team in the state.
Yeah, when we've seen West Bloomfield play their best football, they have looked incredible as they have in years past. You looked just 2 weeks ago against a Lake Orion team that was coming into that game in hot pursuit of the OAA Red Championship, or at least a surefire share of the championship themselves at that point in time, with T.R. Hill playing his best football, a veteran team with a legendary head coach, a Hall of Famer in Chris Bell, and they won that game 49-41 in really impressive fashion. That shows you they can match up against some of the best teams in the state, and it benefits the West Bloomfield faithful, too, to know that they're coming into this game going up, as you said, against another offense that runs the veer, much like Rochester Adams, a team that West Bloomfield played very competitively earlier on in the season. But really the hallmark of this Birmingham Seaholm team is that defense, a team that's only allowed more than one score's worth of points on the board twice this season, including last week in that matchup with North Farmington, and they're only allowing 8.8 points per game all throughout this season. That defense has been wicked. They're physical, and they're really tough to match up against, especially for a team like West Bloomfield that loves to run.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Coach kept telling us last night, right? We're trying to get to our identity. We're trying to figure out what our identity is, honestly. And look, a part of the problem of having as much talent as West Bloomfield is that you try to, distribute it out. You try to make everybody happy. But when it's winning time, man, you got to forget that. You got to win ball games, right? So it feels like West Bloomfield with this quarterback, Bo Jackson, coming over from Catholic Central, very smart, very talented. They're trying to make him happy. They're trying to make Josh Tate happy. They're trying to make all these guys happy. They're trying to make sure Elijah Durham gets his touches. At some point, you got to figure out what wins football games. And let's be honest, what's won West Bloomfield football games the last handful of years? What won them a state championship? Pound that rock. So I would not be surprised if starting this week, Friday, they just say, Josh, run the ball until you drop. Let's go win football games, because when West Bloomfield was winning state championships, consistently competing for state championships, it was the Donovan Edwards of the world. It was the Dylan Tatums of the world. That's the identity for West Bloomfield. And I think these next couple of weeks leading into the playoffs, they're going to get back to that identity of, we've got a lot of pieces, but our horse is the running back and that gigantic O-line. Let's just ride these guys for as long as we can.
And they got to clean things up, too. 6 penalties last week on the offensive side, cost them 39 yards, cost them 2 attempts at the end zone that would have given them a lead early on in that ball game against Oxford. And Coach Hilbers told me earlier on this week and on This Week in Laker football, that really killed their momentum. So look for them to clean things up, too, in all 3 phases, really. Something that affected them last week, but they were really, really excellent about 2 weeks back with the Lake Orion Dragons. Evan, as you look at this game, it's really a defining moment for both of these teams because for Seaholm out of the OAA Blue, they pick up this win. They get those playoff points. They're one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the Division II playoff picture as opposed to a top 10 team. And for West Bloomfield, like you said, this could be a life or death moment for their season because they're on the cusp right now. They're on the bubble in Division I, but they don't pick up at least 1 win in these last 2 weeks. We may not see extra football from them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about this positively for West Bloomfield, right, what have we seen in the baseball playoffs this year? Lord knows we saw it with the Tigers. You see it with teams like the New York Mets. They kind of started playing playoff games 4, 6, 7 weeks before the regular season ended. They just got hot. They found their way into the playoffs, and then they kept it going once they got into the playoffs. So maybe this is something that's actually a blessing in disguise for West Bloomfield, where, usually they're sitting pretty 5-2, 6-1, and they're coasting into the playoffs. Now they're going, shoot, boys, we got to win a game or 2 here to get into the playoffs. And, oh, by the way, if you don't win this week, you play Roseville next week. That is a darn good program that has made noise in the playoffs the last couple of years. So, again, I think this could be a blessing in disguise for West Bloomfield, where, A, they go, we kind of start having to play playoff games now, and B, it allows them to get back to their true identity of, we're big, we're strong, we're physical. We are just going to try to run it up your throat for 4 quarters, and if you stop us and you beat us, God bless us. But we believe we can beat you winning that way because we have done it for pretty much a decade now.
Evan Stockton is with us. He'll be your play-by-play announcer on Friday night as the Prep picks up the broadcast this week for the West Bloomfield Lakers road game against the Birmingham Seaholm Maples. 7 o'clock kickoff. More information on theprepsports.com. We have a flyer we've been putting up on your screen with a QR code for where you can watch this game. And Evan, before we let you go, I want to just go over just what the Prep does and how cool it really is, because this is something that kind of was born out of the COVID-19 pandemic and this rising need for people to want to watch their local teams perform in a number of different athletics. And now they got that opportunity on a widespread level, and your team at the Prep doing several games, in fact, on Friday night, including West Bloomfield. How cool has it been for you as a broadcaster to be involved in this really from the very beginning?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I won't bore you with all the details of everything I do in my broadcasting career, but I do a lot of different things. But being based here in Michigan, someone who has a passion for high school sports, spoiler alert, I went to Catholic Central. I played under Tom Mack, one of the greatest high school football coaches of all time. About as anything as I do in my broadcasting career, I have a deep appreciation and passion for high school football here in the state of Michigan because I think it's fantastic and fascinating on so many levels. And what the Prep has done the last few years, leaning into the market here with high school sports, they just realized during COVID, when friends and family and parents could not go and games were live streamed, oh, shoot, people really care about this. They'll watch. They'll pay attention, which leads to advertising dollars, which leads to money, which leads to happiness involved for all parties involved. So, yes, the chance to travel around Michigan and cover great games like this and communities like this is outstanding, and it's fascinating. And frankly, it's long overdue, and it's well-deserved that these communities, whether it be high school football, high school basketball, volleyball, lacrosse, hockey, soccer, you name it, the Prep has done it, to be a small part of that and to help cover these great stories and selfishly these really good games is a lot of fun, and it's a treat. There are a few things in my broadcasting career that I will have a deep innate passion for, like covering high school football in Michigan, because literally the first ever football game I ever went to, I was 4 years old. I went to Brother Rice, Detroit Catholic Central. So these games mean a lot to me, and it means a lot to cover great programs like West Bloomfield. Done them a lot the last handful of years. Very good program, very good people. Excited to see what they can do, not just this week, but the rest of the season.
You've seen them all over the place across the state of Michigan, broadcasting some excellent games, including high school basketball, football, and more sports with Bally Sports now this Friday night with the Prep Sports when West Bloomfield takes on Birmingham Seaholm. They're across social media, the Prep 3 on X, on Instagram, and on Facebook, theprepsports.com. You'll find them on YouTube as well on Friday night. Evan, here's to a good call for you on Friday and a really interesting game that we're sure to have between the Maples and the Lakers. Thank you so much for your time today.
Anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Evan Stockton with us from the Prep Sports. They will be picking up the broadcast on Friday night for the Lakers and the Seaholm Maples, so stay tuned for coverage of that. We'll have a link to that broadcast both in the description for this interview on our website and on our YouTube page, on our social media. We'll have a link to the broadcast on our homepage and on our civiccentertv.com/Lakers Sports page, where you've been following along with the L Boys all season long. You are in great hands. They do such a great job with that broadcast. It's going to be comprehensive, and it's going to be a really fun game as well. So that QR code on your screen, I'll give you one more chance here to pause the video, take your phone out, open your QR code app or your camera app, scan that QR code. That's where you're going to watch Laker football on Friday night as they take on the Seaholm Maples. And we thank Evan and the team at the Prep for taking time out of their day to join us on the Splash Live. High school football, such a hallmark of fall in Michigan and, of course, here in Greater West Bloomfield. But there's plenty more to celebrate to commemorate the fall season across our 4 communities, including right over on Orchard Lake Road at English Gardens, where coming up this weekend on October 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 across many of their local communities, including in West Bloomfield, it is the English Gardens Family Fall Fest with activities for people of all different ages. Joining us from English Gardens of West Bloomfield is their very own Phoebe Holmes. And Phoebe, glad to have you on the show to talk about this. Give us a little bit of insight into this event and what the people of Greater West Bloomfield can expect when they head out to English Gardens this weekend. Before we kind of get into more of the specifics, give us a general overview of the English Gardens Family Fall Fest, because it's not just happening in West Bloomfield, but many of their locations. What's this all about?
Yeah, it's really just about getting out there with our whole family and creating these fun fall memories. I know fall is finally here. The weather's finally cooling off. So we've got stuff for everyone, stuff for the kids. We've got sensory bins, free pumpkin painting, and lots of other fall kind of like yard game activities. Stuff for the pets. We have a pet costume contest. So if you've got a furry friend, definitely bring them along, and there'll be a costume contest for them. Cider and donuts, just something for everyone. And this, like you said, yep, it's going to be happening at 4 of our stores: West Bloomfield, Royal Oak, Clinton Township, and Plymouth. And if you've got friends in Dearborn and East Point, we'll have some free pumpkin painting for them as well.
And that's what's great about this, Phoebe, is that there's activities for people of all different ages. It's the Family Fall Fest, but it's not just specifically for parents and their kids. Really, anybody can join in on this. It's some fall fun for really anybody in West Bloomfield.
Right. Yeah. If you have an open day, definitely come on out. There's the stores are fully in fall swing, and so we've got some gorgeous flowers and plants still available too. Just if you want some to do your fall shopping, just with some extra fun too.
And look, it's always more fun when we can get not only the kids involved, but the pets involved also. Especially fun for those social media savvy folks in our 4 communities and beyond. You got a pet costume contest coming up. That's one of the fun features of the English Gardens Family Fall Fest in West Bloomfield and surrounding areas. How can people get involved with that?
Yeah, so you'll just bring your pet all dressed up in costume, and we're going to have a photo booth set up there, and so you can take pictures, and then the actual contest is going to be taking place on our social media, but you just have to snap that picture and submit your pet's photo at the event on October 19th.
Well, I will be conceding that pet costume contest as my cat's Jackson Idol. They don't even like wearing a collar, let alone a costume. So I'll back out of that, but expect some great costumes from the people of Greater West Bloomfield. Phoebe Holmes is with us, the event coordinator at English Gardens of West Bloomfield. Their Family Fall Fest coming up at West Bloomfield, as well as their Clinton Township, Plymouth, and Royal Oak locations on October 19th, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. More information can be found on EnglishGardens.com. com. And this is part of getting involved in the community because English Gardens is a business that runs across many of our communities, but it really does put an emphasis on trying to get involved in each and every one of these locations. How does this factor into that community involvement? And then how does the community involvement factor into the betterment of the business, but also the area that you're operating in?
Right. I mean, English Gardens is a family business. We're currently run by second generation owners. So that's something we take a lot of pride in. And so we're really just all about getting people from the community involved because the community is what, allows us as a family business to thrive. So just any opportunity to give back, we're trying to make things like this as accessible for everyone. So lots of free events coming up and just kind of something for everyone. So we'd love to see you guys there.
More information, again, EnglishGardens.com. And as part of this fall season, a lot of what happens from a celebration standpoint, from an activity standpoint, really centers around Halloween, maybe the leaves falling, a couple of little pumpkin patches here or there. This kind of combines all three of those into one in the middle of the month. How do you think that this enhances that sort of fall season feel for a community like West Bloomfield?
Right. I mean, I feel like in Michigan, we're so lucky because we have such drastic change in season. So that lets us, fully take advantage of the season that we're in. So with fall, I know most Michiganders love fall and we probably wish it was a little longer. So I think creating these special memories in each season really helps us soak in, all the change and, where we're at in that specific part in our lives. So I know with the kids being, whatever age they're at right now, like really just seeing them get the most out of it and get all those pictures and have those fun memories.
English Gardens Family Fall Fest happening in West Bloomfield Saturday, October 19th. Phoebe Holmes is with us from their West Bloomfield location to tell us more about the festivities. Phoebe, before we let you go, the event is free, but people are encouraged to RSVP beforehand. How can they go about doing that?
Yeah, so if they could head on over to our website, EnglishGardens.com, and just RSVP to let us know you're coming, just so we can be most prepared for you. Like I said, most of the, all of the kids' activities and everything like that is free. Free pumpkin painting, free scavenger hunt for the kids, free cider and donuts. We're even going to have face painters as well for just a slight charge there. But yeah, so definitely RSVP and let us know that we can see you there.
More information and a chance to RSVP on EnglishGardens.com. Phoebe, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much for having me.
One of the many fall events coming up here in the greater West Bloomfield area kicks off early, the thick of the fall season as we head toward Halloween and then toward the Thanksgiving holiday and then the big holidays at the end of the year. It all starts this weekend at English Gardens, Saturday, October 19th at their location on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield. More information on EnglishGardens.com. As Phoebe had said, great to have her on the program and talk about that, as it's going to be fun for the entire family right in the heart of the greater West Bloomfield community, as one of our many businesses thriving in that location. And in October, one of the many things that we do is focus on supporting small businesses, women-owned small businesses in our community, and those chambers that play such a key role in supporting these businesses as they grow and support you and I in our local communities. The third Wednesday of October is Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day. And as part of that celebration in mid-October, we're bringing in some experts who are helping to consult with local businesses and chambers every day to help our local businesses thrive. Oakland Thrive, one of those organizations, and joining us is one of their business consultants, Jamar Bray, on the Splash Live. Thank you for being with us, Jamar.
How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on as we support our local businesses and those organizations that partner with our local chambers to provide the support for these businesses as they begin, as they grow, and as they look to take the next step. How does Oakland Thrive tailor its consulting services for local businesses of all different kinds and all different sizes and all different areas of where they're at in pursuing growing their companies?
Yes, so Oakland Thrive is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to giving resources to entrepreneurs throughout Oakland County. So right now we are focused on helping any business that is set up to create the future for their families, for their next generation, just so we can understand that there is an importance of small businesses small business need throughout the community. We are based in Oakland County. We are based in Pontiac. With me being in West Bloomfield, I've been blessed enough to see the challenges and see the needs of West Bloomfield business owners. And I've been so blessed to have been a part of a lot of different projects to help West Bloomfield businesses and also partner with the Chamber of West Bloomfield. So I am just so happy to be a part of this organization and the change that we're making each and every day.
And take us a little bit further into what some of those changes that you're helping to make, those differences you're helping to make each and every day, because this organization, formerly known as Business Forward, it's not just providing some basic advice, it's providing some pretty in-depth advice in a variety of different areas that affect our businesses every day.
Yes, so we have a B2B program. So our B2B program, we will pay up to the first 2 hours with a accountant, a marketing guru, a social media guru, a lawyer, any of those needs, and we're going in depth. So what will happen, we will set up a meeting, we'll set up a call, and we will go in depth in some of those challenges. So if you say, hey, Jamar, I need money. I need to figure out where's the money. I need to figure out, my financial statements together. We will then take that next process to the next level. So we will also pull in some of our financial gurus that we are partnered with, such as Chase Bank, First Independence. Those are some of the banks that we do work with. But then we do a deeper dive in your social media. So how's your social media going? How's your marketing going? Should we also invest even more of those B2B providers into you? So we will pay up to another 2 hours if that's the need, because we believe that small businesses is the vitality of our community. So we want to also continue to dive into other parts of your business, because we understand that COVID took out a lot of business owners that were extremely powerful, extremely prominent in the community. And it sucks because they did close before we were able to be, to get launched. But we're saving businesses each and every day by trying to prevent some of those closures. By going in depth into your financial needs and also your skilling needs.
Jamar Bray is with us on the Splash Live, one of many of those business consultants from Oakland Thrive that is helping not only our local chambers but our businesses directly as they move forward with their company's progress and ultimately help move our communities forward all across Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. You can find more information and get in contact with them for your business and as you're trying to continue your growth and development at oaklandthrive.com or call them at 248-602-0040. And Jamar, I had an opportunity in recent weeks to talk with Paula Tutman, a local small business owner, as we were recognizing Women's Small Business Month in the state of Michigan and across the U.S. And she made a really good point that we hope down the road we come to a point where we aren't talking about having to categorize these businesses as woman-owned or minority-owned or LGBTQ plus owned businesses, but that's not where we're at right now in our society. And these businesses that are in those categories do face a number of their own individual challenges, but how does Oakland Thrive help those specific underrepresented business communities navigate not only all those other challenges that you help all of our business navigate, but those individual ones that really affect their minority groups?
Yes, we understand in the different Puma areas there are different needs. And yes, we do focus on those women-owned, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses as well. And we do understand that there are different needs throughout different communities. But the biggest thing is to understand that we are all one community. We are all Oakland County, no matter if you are LGBTQ, you're on this side, that side, minority or not. We understand that there is help that should be extended across the board. And we understand that the power of bringing people together. For me, my biggest job that I take pride in is I kind of go in and I always say I'm your business angel. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not a dictator. I'm not going to tell you how you should run your business, but let's figure out a way to pull in all of these different resources because prime example, we can have a business owner who's on one side of the wing, but their resource partner is on another side of the wing. So, we want to bring those two to the table and say, listen, it doesn't matter, who you are and what you do. The biggest thing is getting you the help. And me personally, I love doing that each and every day. My phone is ringing just because, I love being personable. I love bringing people to the table that would never talk. if they were just on the street together. So we understand that those areas are in need, but we also understand that there are resources that are available to pull everyone together and build this economy the way we want to.
And you said it right there, pulling everyone together as we're recognizing National Support Your Chamber of Commerce Day and the work that our chambers do, not only in Greater West Bloomfield, but the Lakes area and all throughout southeastern Michigan in Oakland County. How does your organization then take the partnership it has with these individual businesses and those partnerships with those local chambers to really expand these services to be as beneficial and widespread as possible across our local area?
Yes, we love our chamber partners. You know, we never look at our chamber partners as, okay, you do this and we do this and it's totally different. No, we will actually bring a lot of our clients to the actual chambers. Hey, register for your local chamber. Go to your local chamber events. Go to our events. But there's not a competition. It's more or less, hey, you know, the West Bloomfield Chamber is doing amazing. Suzanne is doing absolutely amazing things in West Bloomfield. And I love being a part of seeing the growth and seeing the interaction when I'm out and I hear people talk about Suzanne, who's a part of the chamber. So, who's the president of the chamber. So that is amazing. And we also want to continue pushing people to the chamber and saying, hey, you live in Southfield, make sure you register for your Southfield chamber. If you are in West Bloomfield, register for your West Bloomfield chamber, because those are the people locally that's going to be able to see you and help you directly, immediately.
And Oakland Thrive will also be able to help you immediately and in partnership with these chambers as well. OaklandThrive.com is their website for more information. You can also find them in places like Facebook at Oakland Thrive as well for more information. Get in contact with them and some of their services that are provided in our community. Jamar Bray is one of their business consultants helping our local small businesses with Oakland Thrive. And we know that you've undergone a number of changes in recent years, becoming Oakland Thrive from Business Forward and expanding your services across our community. As we go forward, what are some more of these expectations for your organization about how it may be changing or expanding its purview to even further help our small business community?
Yeah, I mean, simply by just continuing to expand our trainings, expanding our workshops, expanding our way of, you know, reaching our business owners, whether that's the marketing aspect, whether that's, you know, PR aspect. We want to be able to expand our resource pool as well. We almost want to become someone where they don't need to go anywhere else. If they're in Oakland County, they come straight to us and we're able to connect them with every single resource. And we understand that there are other parts that that we're growing and we're continuing to grow each and every day. And we're blessed enough to be able to affect the many people on this level. But once we continue to expand this thing, we bring more people into this, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
More information can be found on oaklandthrive.org. In the meantime, Jamar, if people are interested in tapping into some of these services to help their business or perhaps forward this information to their friendly local business owners who may be in need of some assistance, what are some good first steps for them to take as they get in consultation with you and your team?
Yes, one, go on our website, oaklandthrive.com, and you'll be able to see a lot of our different consultants in different areas of the county. We also offer different trainings and events. We have a calendar actually on our website, so you'll be able to actually review that. But then also, once you go on there, you'll see each of our contact information. You'll see my email, you'll see my number on there as well. And hey, call me, okay? This is what we have, these resources for a reason. So we want to be able to give them out. We want to be able to take that step with you. You meet with us with a consultation. And I forgot to mention the cost. It is free of charge. So everything we do is free of charge. So we want to be able to, you know, continue just giving those resources out to our community. And we want to be able to take that next step with them instead of them feeling like this is a lonely road.
They'll help you with the next step. It's on you to take that first step as the business owner. OaklandThrive.org. Send them an email, info@OaklandThrive.org, to start that process yourself. Jamar, thank you so much for your time today. Glad to have Jamar.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and appreciate your consultation and your help across our community on the program today. Jamar Bray with us from Oakland Thrive as we support our local chambers and our local businesses all together in their efforts to build our community, build our local economies, and support our community organizations, our community efforts, our local sports teams, our kids' activities. So much of an impact they have across our 4 communities. We thank Jamar for all of his help, Suzanne Levine and the team over at the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce for their help as well. If you want to learn more about them and join the chamber for some of their different professional development opportunities, or to get some advice from Suzanne and their other very experienced team of business owners across many different sectors, that's westbloomfieldchamber.com, or follow them on Facebook at West Bloomfield CC. As we continue through the fall, we told you earlier on in the program about a lot of fun activities happening in West Bloomfield and across the Tri-Cities as well for the fall season. If you're not able to get in on the community hay rides with West Bloomfield Parks, maybe a community campout environment is more of your scene. Join West Bloomfield Parks October 25th from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Recreation Activity Center for roasting corn cob over an open fire. It's a fun campout activity for their corn cob campfire. Fix up your corn cob with traditional salt and pepper and some very elite toppings that will make that experience even tastier and more fun for you. Includes an experience with some hot cider and a cozy campfire, some Halloween music, and of course, plenty of friendly faces from across our community. More information and registration for this event is open and available on wbparks.org. You can also find them on Facebook at WB Parks for even more information. And then right next door in the heart of the lake, spooky season on its way in Keego Harbor, as they'll be starting their Halloween celebration a little bit early on October 26th at 12 noon. It's Keego Harbor at Rose Sorter Park, right behind City Hall, from noon until 2 p.m. Pumpkin decorating, trick-or-treating, a haunted tunnel on a smaller scale, a mini haunted tunnel, cider, donuts, spooky treats, all that you want. And a Halloween celebration will be happening on that day in the city of Keego Harbor. Plus, live music from a local band. Ultraviolet will be performing at the gazebo at City Hall as well. It's a free event for the entire family. People of all ages can come out there, and it's an early celebration of Halloween, but it doesn't take away from October 31st. There's still going to be trick-or-treating in Keego Harbor. There's still going to be all the regular Halloween fun. They're just starting the celebration a little bit early. You can get in on that celebration right now. Keego Harbor Parks can be found on Facebook at KH Parks. And join us on CivicCenterTV.com. We had a great conversation with Julie O'Brien from Keego Harbor Parks and Rec to preview this event that's already guaranteed to come back again next year. So much excitement behind this. You're going to want to be out there. You're not going to want to miss this Halloween fun in the heart of the lakes. For our seniors, their fun throughout the fall continues as well at the Connect Senior Center on 14 Mile Road in West Bloomfield. Join them for their monthly happy hour event. That's a perfect meeting place to enjoy some live entertainment and a warm atmosphere with friendly people across our community. Their next upcoming event and performance happening on October 25th. All these happy hour Fridays from 3 to 5 p.m. at their location in West Bloomfield at the Connect Senior Center. You're going to want to come out there on October 25th. Mark your calendars for November 15th. And of course, sign up for more information and to join them out at connectwbparks.org for all of the details that you need to know about not only their Connect Happy Hour, but everything that they do for our seniors across our community at Connect Senior Center, the Recreation Activity Center, and so many other partnered activities across the community. wbparks.org or on Facebook at WB Parks. Just like that, we're out of time on this edition of the Splash Live. We thank you for tuning in as we celebrate all the great things that are happening across our community and keep you informed on everything that you need to know to keep up to date with things happening in West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, and Sylvan Lake as well. Big thank you to our entire crew, Calvin Brown, Jake Schaff, and Kevin McIntosh, and of course to you, the viewer, and all of our guests for being part of today's program. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Kieft, thanking you for tuning in to the Splash Live.